Doc, at this age, should I even be masturbating anymore? Let me tell you something. My friend, this question? It's not strange at all. I've been in this field for decades. And I've heard it more times than I can count. And you know what? Every time someone asks, I feel a certain respect. Because that kind of question doesn't come from confusion, it comes from honesty. From being real. See, folks often think masturbation is just for young guys. Like once you hit 50 or 60, that chapter's over. But I'm here to tell you, that's just not true. You're still human. You still have emotions. Hormones still flow through your veins. Sure, your body changes, it slows down. Responds differently, but that doesn't mean you're past your prime. If you still feel desire, still notice those signals from your body, that's a good sign, a really good one. It means you're still alive in the best sense of the word, still connected to yourself. Now, think of it this way, just like you've got to walk or move around to keep your heart, lungs, and muscles in shape, your sexual health needs the same kind of care. Your genitals may not get as much action as when you were young, but they still need blood flow, tissue elasticity, and nerve sensitivity to stay healthy. When you masturbate in moderation, not obsessively, not forcefully, it's like giving that part of your body a gentle workout. It boosts circulation, helps prevent tissue atrophy, and supports your natural ability to get and maintain an erection. In other words, it's a simple, drug-free way to keep your old buddy downstairs from falling asleep over the years. I've seen patients who ignored that part of themselves for a long time, and when the moment came to connect intimately, they struggled. So keeping a steady, healthy routine, that's something I always encourage. Your body, when treated right, will treat you right in return. If you've still got questions on your mind, don't hold back. Feel free to drop a line. I'm not here to judge, I'm here to listen and to share. With respect and understanding. At our age, we've been through enough to know there's no such thing as a sensitive or awkward topic when it comes to real health and happiness. And if you found these thoughts helpful, feel free to subscribe or follow along for more. I'll be talking a whole lot more about men's health, from sex and heart health to keeping your mind at peace in your 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. Living a long life isn't enough, we've got to live well, live deeply, and stay connected. Wouldn't you agree? So go ahead, think of me like an old friend who's been around the block. Always ready to sit down for a real conversation, even about the little stuff. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Listen, my friend, at our age, the body just doesn't work the way it used to. And that's perfectly normal. Just like muscles lose strength if we don't use them, our sexual organs also need gentle, regular care. At this stage in life, moderation applies to more than just food or walking, it matters in the bedroom too. Even when you're on your own. I often tell my patients, when done mindfully and in moderation, masturbation is like a morning stroll. Doesn't have to be fast or intense. Just steady and gentle. It keeps the blood flowing, especially to the pelvic region, keeps the tissue healthy and elastic, and helps you maintain natural erections without needing a single pill. And here's something most folks overlook, your body has memory. When you stay connected to that part of yourself, even solo, your brain gets the message, this area still matters. So when the time comes for real intimacy, your body responds more naturally, more smoothly. Bottom line, it's not about giving in to urges. It's self-care, just like brushing your teeth, going for a walk, or eating right. Wouldn't you agree? Now look, I've had plenty of men in their 50s or 60s come into my office and say, "Doc, I don't feel much down there anymore." And more often than not, it's not age, it's overstimulation. Too frequent, too rough, often paired with watching extreme content. See, our nervous system is smart, but it has limits. If you're always hitting it with high-intensity stimulation, like blasting loud music all day, your nerves start to tune it out. It's called desensitization. So when something softer, more natural comes along, it doesn't register the same. Over time, that can lead to weak erections, trouble finishing, even when you're with your partner. But it's not just physical. This can chip away at your confidence, stir up anxiety, and push you to avoid real connection. It becomes a loop that's hard to break. That's why even something as private as masturbation needs a little self-awareness. You've got to be in charge of it, not let it run the show. That's how you keep your body and your mind in balance. Don't you think? You know, brother, at our age, the moment our head hits the pillow, the mind keeps spinning, kids, money, health acting up one day and settling down the next, and then that looming question of how the future's gonna look as we get older. It's real. It's the stuff no one escapes. That's exactly why I always say, sex, even solo sex, isn't just about the body. It's mental therapy, too. Think about it, when you touch yourself gently, without guilt, without rushing, it's almost like a form of meditation. You're tuning in, you're letting go of all the bottled up tension. I've had patients tell me, "Doc, after I masturbate, I feel like I can finally breathe. I sleep better." And you know what? That's the brain releasing dopamine and oxytocin, those good, calming hormones, all natural, no sleeping pills needed. The key? Do it with awareness, not to escape, but to reconnect. If afterward you feel lighter, more at peace, even a little more hopeful, then it's not something to be ashamed of. It's part of your mental well-being. Now here's the other side of it. Some guys come to me and say, "Doc, I don't even know when it happened, but now I'm doing it every single day. Not out of desire, just habit. If I don't, I get restless, off balance. And I get it, because masturbation, even though it's private, can become a quick fix for stress. Like snacking, scrolling your phone, or cracking open a beer. You get that dopamine hit. And for a moment, the world feels manageable, but do it too often, too automatically, and it stops being a choice, it turns into a reflex. Before you know it, you're hooked. And that's the danger, when instead of facing the loneliness, the stress, the fatigue, we hide. We don't talk, don't go out, don't share. We just stay home and deal with it alone. And little by little, we cut ourselves off from the world. See what I mean? Something that starts off natural and healthy can turn into a quiet burden if we're not paying attention. So the question isn't, should I or shouldn't I? It's, am I still in control, or has it started controlling me? You know, a lot of folks, patients, friends, even old buddies from way back, often ask me, "Doc, so is masturbation good or bad?" Really? And I always tell them, it's neither good nor bad by itself. It's just a tool, like a glass of wine, one glass to unwind. Sure, that's fine, but if you start treating it like water and drink it every day, all day, that's when trouble starts. Masturbation, when done with awareness, as a way to tune into your body and care for it, that's a good thing. It helps keep the plumbing working, helps you stay in touch with yourself, and even helps you learn what feels right and what doesn't. But if you start treating it like your only source of comfort, your go-to for every bit of joy or escape, then you're giving it the lead role, when really, it's meant to be just a side dish in the bigger feast of life. There's still friends to see, walks to take, food to enjoy, hobbies to explore. Our bodies need a variety of nourishment to stay healthy and happy. And masturbation? It's just one part of that menu. When you steer it, gently, with boundaries, it serves you. But if you let it steer you, something's bound to go off track. Now listen, I gotta say this straight, anything in excess becomes a problem. That includes masturbation. Not because the act itself is wrong, but because how you do it, and how often, matters. I've seen men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s, telling me they no longer feel much during sex, or that being intimate with their partner just doesn't click anymore. And when I dig deeper, I find out they've been overstimulating their genitals too often, too intensely, sometimes with devices, sometimes with very graphic content. Our bodies aren't machines. If you keep cranking the volume all the way up, your nerves eventually stop responding the same way. That's what we call desensitization. Like blasting loud music for hours, after a while, even soft sounds disappear. Over time, you end up needing stronger, weirder stimulation just to feel something. And that disconnects you from your natural self, your partner, and your own emotions. So, no, masturbation isn't the problem, but how you do it, and how often. Now that's worth paying attention to. Keep it gentle, keep it moderate, and it stays your friend. But push it too far? It'll bite back. One of the more subtle things folks don't talk much about is the silence that creeps into the sex life of older couples. It's not always because the desire is gone. Sometimes, it's just, no one wants to bring it up. One guy's afraid to bother his wife. Another feels embarrassed, thinking, I'm too old for this. And so, we end up fumbling around alone in our own heads. But here's the thing, my friend, sex isn't always about the physical. It's about emotion, connection, sharing. When you can sit down and talk openly with your partner, something simple like, hey, I've noticed my body's changing, and my desire isn't what it used to be. Have you felt the same? That opens a door. You'd be surprised how often the other person's been feeling the same, but didn't know how to say it either. People often think masturbation is something to hide, but really, it can be part of a healthy sex life, if both partners understand and respect each other. I've seen couples where one partner has lost interest due to health issues or medication, but they still support the other in staying connected to their body in their own way. That's empathy. That's companionship. Talking about sex isn't about demanding or complaining. It's about understanding where you both are, and finding a way forward, gently, together, with maturity and care. And you know what else? Plenty of men come into my office with that same tired sigh. Doc, I guess it's just age. I've lost my drive, and I'm having trouble getting or keeping an erection. But when I take a closer look, run a few basic tests, it's not always just age that's to blame. There are a lot of quiet little things that sneak in and mess with our sexual health without us realizing it. Take testosterone, for instance. Sure, it naturally drops as we get older. But if it dips too low, it can bring along a host of issues: fatigue, low desire, even mild depression. In those cases, hormone therapy might help, but it's something that needs a doctor's guidance, not something to dabble in on your own. And don't overlook conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease. They might seem unrelated, but they directly affect blood flow, which, as you know, is key to healthy erections. Damaged blood vessels mean weaker responses. That's just biology. Then there's medication. I've seen guys on antidepressants, blood pressure meds, even sleep aids, without realizing those can reduce desire or delay sexual response. So if something feels off, don't beat yourself up. Talk to your doctor. Get checked. Sometimes all it takes is adjusting a medication, getting regular exercise, or eating a little better, and things start turning around more than you'd expect. Let me tell you something, my friend, something I say with deep respect for your age and all the life experience you carry. Sex isn't just a privilege of the young. It's a natural part of being human, and it stays with us for life. Sure, the way we experience it may change over time, the form, the feeling, even the reasons why we seek it. But the need for connection? That doesn't just vanish with age. Some folks think masturbation after 50 is strange, or that it's something you should have left behind years ago. I see it differently. If you still feel a spark, if you still want to connect with yourself, that's a sign of life. That's your body still alive and responsive. Your spirit still craving closeness and warmth. And that's something to honor, not hide. At our age, when done mindfully, masturbation isn't just a physical act anymore. It's a gesture of self-respect, a way to stay in touch with your body, your emotions, and your sense of presence in the world. It's a reminder that you're still here, still engaged, still living with depth and intention. Now listen, if you found yourself leaning on it a little too much, it's okay. That doesn't make you weak. What matters is recognizing it, stepping back, and adjusting. Strength isn't about never going off course, it's about having the courage to pause, reflect, and find your balance again. And if any of this makes you feel a little lighter, or stirs something you want to talk more about, leave me a question. Think of me like an old friend, always up for a real conversation. And if you feel this is something worth exploring deeper, follow along for more, for your health, for connection, and for yourself.